This is what happens when you disrespect 50 Cent.
See how your mouth makes things happen? Good guy, man. You just gotta keep him talking. I said on Instagram. Oh no, because I let her lick my thinks I'm gay.
Right now, he owes, and I'm gonna say it in a short way, at least 80,000, if not 180,000.
This crazy. You're 25 years old. Why are you still talking about child support?
Look, if I didn't say anything, you would interpret it as hip hop is fine with his behaviors.
Curtis 50 Cent Jackson didn't build his reputation just on hit records and business deals. He built it on one rule: disrespect him and he'll make a public example out of you. No exceptions, no expiration date. These are 10 times 50. Had absolutely zero tolerance for disrespect. Steve Stoute is one of the most powerful music executives in hip hop. He managed NAS, brokered deals with Jay-Z, and built Translation into a marketing empire. More importantly, she and 50 had real business history together. Vitamin Water, sneaker deals. Stoute went on Hot 97 in 2014 and was asked to name his top 5 most influential artists in hip-hop. The fact that he left 50 completely off the list felt personal. This wasn't a random blogger talking reckless. This was somebody 50 had...
You didn't put him in your top 5 of people.
Oh, he's not.
Really? Wasn't he at one point?
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't had a hit in a really long time. I mean, he has not...
Stoute said 50 was always gearing up for something that never happens. Said his last great song was I Get Money. Said his brand was business, not artistry. Those words landed hard. And a few weeks later, when they were both at a Knicks game at MSG, 50 handled it the old-fashioned way. 50 walked straight up to Stoute courtside, got inches from his face, and let him know the conversation from Hot 97 wasn't over. Security was right there, cameras everywhere, and 50 didn't care. He wanted Stoute to feel the energy of what he said. In a sit-down interview shortly after, he broke the whole situation down.
And it felt like he just wanted confirmation of what he thought was going on the street. And he ain't that. You know what I'm saying? He never been that. So, like, if he's pretending to be that, it's the wrong thing to do.
50 was saying Stoute was playing street when he's a businessman, and that's a dangerous game. Then he dropped the line, that's the whole thing up.
He was on the air and he said, well, now that he's not with the actual record company, and maybe you can get the record played. And now it's playing, Steve. See how your mouth makes things happen? Good guy, man. You just gotta keep him talking. And more he talk, more things.
Everybody in the industry heard loud and clear. You can be as connected as you want, sit on as many boards as you want, manage as many artists as you want. But if you talk reckless about Curtis Jackson on a public platform, you're going to see him face to face about it. Confronting executives courtside is bold, but when the disrespect comes from someone you used to be in a relationship with, and she questions your whole identity on national TV, the response has to be on a different level. 50 and Vivica A. Fox dated back in 2003. He shouted her out from the stage at the BET Awards. They showed up matching at the VMAs, and for a few months they were hip-hop's power couple. But the relationship burned out in less than a year, and the breakup left marks on both sides. For nearly a decade after, they kept it relatively quiet, occasional jabs here and there, but nothing major. Then in 2015, Vivica went on Watch What Happens Live and detonated whatever piece was left. Andy Cohen asked about 50 blaming Empire's ratings dip on certain storylines, and Vivica went straight for the jugular.
What were your thoughts when 50 Cent blamed the second season ratings dip on gay stuff?
First of all, you know, the pot calling the kettle black is all I'm saying.
The room went silent. Andy tried to get her to walk it back, but she doubled down.
Great time, I mean, but he's just seems like he's got something that's not quite clear, so...
She referenced a magazine cover and said when people protest too much, the fire is right in front of them. Now, if you know 50, you know that wasn't going to sit. A few months later, he pulled up to the exact same show and gave the most unfiltered clap
TV
back
history.
I said on
Instagram.
I said, oh no, because I let her lick my ass. She thinks I'm gay.
The whole studio erupted. Andy couldn't keep a straight face. The audience was screaming, and 50 just sat there with that signature grin, completely unbothered, like he'd been holding that one in the chamber for months, waiting for the right moment to pull the trigger.
That's the problem. You let someone lick your ass, and look what happens.
I'm sorry, I'll never do it again.
Andy lost composure. The co-host looked stunned, but 50 Cent, completely unfazed, he said what he came to say. Calling out an ex on TV is one thing. Hunting down a 7-figure debt in public, that's a different level. When Randall Emmett, a Hollywood producer tied to Vanderpump Rules star Lala Kent, fell behind on money, most would have called lawyers. 50 called Instagram. They had real business together through Cheetah Vision, built profits, even lined up bigger moves like BMF. But once payment stalled and the debt crossed $1 million, 50 flipped the switch. Screenshots dropped. Memes flooded timelines. Randall became Randall. And the countdown began public, relentless, impossible to ignore. Emmett wasn't fighting back, he was pleading. The pressure wasn't legal, it was viral. Then came the turning point. As reported by The Breakfast Club, the money finally landed. Wire confirmed. Deadline met just before sunrise. His last message said it all. Agree to the terms. Stop.
All right, now let's talk about 50 Cent. Apparently, he got his money. He got his
From Tierra Marie?
No, from Randall Emmett, actually.
Oh.
Hollywood producer. He did meet 50's self-imposed deadline, and he's...
EMTT was collecting a salary off their shared profits while acting like 50's equal. The debt hit over $1 million. Andy asked if he had any Russo regrets going public.
Even worse.
We were actually partnering on Cheetah Vision films.
Okay.
We made profits on the film, but it was positioning himself publicly as my partner.
Yes.
But he was receiving a salary.
EMTT was collecting a salary off their shared profits while acting like 50's equal. The debt hit over $1 million. Andy asked if he had any Russo regrets going public with it.
Do you regret taking your beef with Randall to social media?
No, I got me paid right away.
What's your...
No regrets? Not even a little bit. He said it with a smile on his face, too, like he'd do it all over again tomorrow. That's the 50C playbook. Owe him money and he'll embarrass you until the wire clears. But pressuring Hollywood producers is one thing. When 50 gets a hold of your landlord's phone number and your surveillance footage, the damage is music, whole different level. The beef between 50 and Jim Jones goes back to the mid-2000s Dipset versus Gunnet era. But while Cameron eventually made peace, Jim kept going, calling 50 a sucker on The Breakfast Club, tying him to Diddy's problems, refusing to give him any credit. So 50 didn't respond with bars. Music. He responded with something way worse, a recorded phone call with a landlord.
Trying to build it, but he won't sign the lease. He's like, I don't like these terms. I want like 6 months of build out. And ridiculous.
The landlord, Sam, didn't hold back. He laid out everything. The lease Jones wouldn't sign. The partnership agreement Jones was violating, and even offered to sell 50 Music, half of Jones's media company, as a...
We also have a partnership agreement where half of what he's building now, his media, belongs to us. But he won't tell us how much he's making and doing all these things.
Then came the number that made the whole thing impossible to spin.
Right now he owes, and I'm going to say it in a short way, at least 80,000, if not 180,000.
0 to 180,000 in back rent on a podcast studio. 50 posted all of it when surveillance footage dropped of Jim Jones physically kicking the door to his own studio, trying to get inside. 50, who claimed co-ownership through Sam, posted the footage set to Biggie's kicking the door instrumental.
Just everything.
Me and Fifth, we had music problems, just rap battles in the past, you know what I'm saying? And I remember my first time speaking to him this was over, probably was 2025, probably 2013, years after the rap shit. And the first thing I got on the phone with him said, what's up, how you gonna get to this money?
When Fat Joe, who was tight with those guys, linked up with Ja Rule and Jackie's on the track New York, 50 didn't see it as a neutral collaboration. He took it as a direct declaration of war. During the Gunnet era, there was no neutral. You were with him or against him. Fat Joe chose wrong. 50 explained exactly how it escalated.
And I'm saying, stay away from him. Stay away from him. They go, I'm from New York. Got 100 clips, and it goes straight to that. And that's what brought Jadakiss, and then what brought my Fat Joe issues later.
Tolerance. He doesn't forget. He doesn't let up. He doesn't care who's uncomfortable. And he was right the whole time. And that's what makes Curtis Jackson different. Whether it's a music executive, his ex-girlfriend, a Hollywood producer, a rival rapper's landlord, his own son, or the most powerful mogul hip-hop has ever seen. If you cross 50, you deal with the consequences. Not next week, not next month, right now. And the whole world will be watching when it happens. Thanks for watching and subscribe it.